I wanted to make a video of this Marshall here. This Marshall, I made a video before. This is a horrific Marshall that's taken me many hours to sort out. I wanted to tell you some of the things I had to do to this. For this I bought 4 brand new matched valves. They're EL34-2s, and also I bought a whole batch of brand new Sovtecs. Now one of the valves here, the match valves here, the customer sold them as new, never opened, but unfortunately one of them was crackling right from the get-go, so we tried to return the valves back to him and he said, no, I don't want them back. The best I will do for you is replace the one that was crackling. I said, yeah, but they should be pairs. But he says, no, that's what I'm going to do. So we were stuffed really on that, so we bought this one, which is EL34. The other ones are EL34-2s, which, you know, the same as EL34s pretty much. Apparently they've made some differences to the structures there, structurally more sound and better bass response. But anyway, I thought, well, I'll stick this in. I checked the biases and it seemed to be fitting in there quite well, although not perfectly matched. Anyway, this one, which is the one we bought, went faulty the other day. It just went pop internally. Internally went while I was testing and burnt the HD fuse black. See, I've got it here. HD fuse completely gone. So that's no good, that valve now. These 4 here, that's a batch of 10 Sovtecs I bought, and out of the 10 that I bought, 6 failed. So again, we were ripped off there. I think that the 10 that we bought Sovtecs were a bad batch or something. So out of these, there were 4 brand new Sovtecs in there. Now I've had to mix and match a bit. There's an older Sovtec here. It's one of the original ones that we bought that still work, but these 3 are replacements. So as you might have seen from the other video, these 2 sockets were replaced by the other service center and they just put crap in there basically. I've got one of the bases here they replaced. Look, that's exactly how it came out. They actually tied wires to those stubs there and mounted it in the board. I mean, I've never seen such horrific workmanship. It's absolutely awful. So now I'm going to use these as I need to build some more probes here. This is a probe I built a while ago and this is serving me well. Unfortunately my valve tester, I didn't get time to complete that, and it's in a box at the moment. I'm not going to be able to complete that unfortunately at the moment because I'm working from my attic now, and in June I'm coming back to England for I don't know how long, a year at least, maybe 2, maybe 3, I don't know. It depends on the situation in Brazil, the political situation, how that goes, and also if we can actually survive in England, because there's a cost of living crisis over there. I've got to try and resurrect Delatronics again. My wife's going to work as well, and we're going to try and survive by renting somewhere. So I don't know whether that is going to go to plan, because everywhere in the world at the moment seems to have its own problems caused by obviously the globalists. So there we go. I give it a go anyway. My daughter wants to get back into the English school system because it's worth quite a lot, English education, so she wants to do that, so we're going principally for her. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes. But back to this this amp. It's got a problem on the main board. The main board, when it gets heated after a while with the valves, actually turns conductive, the main board. It's a very, very poor resin that the fiberglass was made with. It becomes conductive, and pin 4 conducts to pin 5. Now pin 4 is the HT, is the grid connection, which is just below the HT voltage. Pin 5 is the bias, I believe. Let me just check what I'm saying is right. Yeah, pin 5 is grid 1, which is the bias. So what happens, grid 1 is normally kept at around minus 40 milliamps negative. This is to bias the tube, whereas the grid on this is very high. It's 500 odd volts, 520 volts, I think. Therefore the screen, which is for G2, is also G2, sits at, I don't know, probably about 480 volts. So that 480 volts, when this board becomes conductive, leaches through to the bias pin, and obviously sends the bias value sky high into the positives, and that will destroy the tubes. It's a massive problem on these. I think this has got version 00 board in there. I think it's JCM-60-00-00. So it's the very first board it's got in this. The first revision, second revision, third revision, they've all got problems. And now the latest revision of the board is revision 20, so you can see how many things they've had to change on this. But apparently even 20 doesn't resolve the problem completely. It's a lot better, but it's just probably the worst design that Marshall have ever come up with, pretty much. I've heard of other Marshalls that use SMDs on the same board that the valves are on, and the SMDs overheat and they actually drop off. I can't remember what model name that was, but that was a disaster as well. But this is a true disaster. I would never buy one of these, because I don't think, especially not second hand, but I don't think there's any around that are that good. I think you're better off going for a JCM-900 or JCM-800. But anyway, with this, what I had to do is drill out the PCB material around pin number 5. So every pin, I'd remove the sockets here, and all the sockets actually, and pin number 5 I drilled a hole through it with a hole saw, special diamond hole saw. So it's just complete hole there, drilled the track out and everything, and I hardwired the gate resistor, which on this one was 220k, and I upgraded it to a 5.6k because apparently a much better sound and everything. So I did all that, and I've replaced every single component in the bias circuit, including the 2 trim pots at the back. It's been horrendous, basically. And there's other faults on this unit as well. The output transformer, someone tried to bodge a repair, and there's wires hanging off everywhere, and so I had to redo this transformer myself, which you'll probably see in the other video. But yeah, now I'll just show it. It's now actually, I'll put my meter on here, connected to the pod, will tell me the milliamps. Right. I hope I don't get another copyright warning on this video. I always seem to do that, but I don't know how. I have to find some music that isn't copyrighted, maybe my own. Anyway, I always test these with music. Because it's got all the frequencies in it. So here we go. clean channel, lead, crunch, you see the bias is around, starts off at around 34, 32, 34 and goes up to about 42 when the amp's really hot, which is okay. I always like to bias these valves to about 34, but you know, 42 is all right. Yeah, so now I've actually tested both sides. And they're the same bias. I've had to do it this way by testing it, taking this probe out and putting in that one, because I haven't got any alternative at the moment. I'm just making a new bias probe here. I smashed the tube and I've just got to put plugs on the end of here so I can do two at the same time. Here's another one that I could make. Smashed tube with a pin sticking out there. And look, this is one of the sockets that was in here. This is exactly how it was. I haven't cut the pins. They basically used a really old one, marked up. It's absolutely terrible. And they extended those pins with thin wire into the actual board there. You probably saw that on the other video, so it's just unbelievable really. But look, you see here, bias is still quite low. If I turn the volume really up and the valves heat up, then the bias goes up to, I've seen it go up to 42, but that's still okay. I'm unable to adjust the bias anymore. Probably the pots, trim pots I'm using, I couldn't get the original ones, so I've used ones slightly different value, and I've actually increased that value to the board by adding 10k resistors. It's been a nightmare basically. I've got no confidence in this amp at all. It was probably, well, it was definitely the worst amplifier I've ever worked on, and I don't really want to work on another one of these because they are horrendous. If you look at the YouTube videos on these, everyone says they're terrible. There's a problem with the board there. If I ever get another one of these in again, I would definitely replace the main board with a version 20 straight away. I'm not going to be mucking around trying to repair a destroyed board, and this was destroyed. I'll try and find a picture of the way the tracks were and put it as a thumbnail to this video so you can study it and see just how bad it was. So yeah, see the valves are getting pretty hot now, around 38. 40 is fine for this, so there we go. As I'm talking now, I just noticed some crackle. I don't know, I can't believe it. So probably one of these is faulty. So oh, it's gone now. Might be it might be a dirty valve. This is horrendous. I mean, the customer's been chasing me up from this. We've had it for about 6 months, and I really don't want to let him have this. It's just so bad. It's so bad. Seeing if they're microphonic. No, I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, this is my nightmare, and this is the worst valve amp I've ever worked on by a long way. Marshall really cocked up on when they made this, so if you got one, good luck. I would replace that main board definitely. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope someone's learned something from this video.